Today's video is sponsored by Nic Cage, who I dressed up as for school because, I don't know, man. Ask my teachers. I'm a weird kid. Renfield was directed by Chris McKay and released recently in theaters. The film tells the story of Renfield, played by Nicholas Hoult, who is the servant of Dracula, played by Nicolas Cage. And it's a pretty fun time. So, guys, Renfield is out in theaters now. Go watch it if you have not, because this review will contain some spoilers. I will have a time code on screen telling you when I enter spoilers. So, you can click off, go watch the film, come back, and hear my spoilery thoughts. Getting into the film, I think where it shines the most is Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult as their respective roles, Dracula and Renfield, and their dynamic. After all, the film is really about Renfield discovering that all of these things that he's done for Dracula over the years has been very, very bad of him, and he decides that he's going to change into a better man. And Dracula ain't really about that, so he's going to try and stop Renfield and take whatever he can for him to ensure that Renfield remains his servant and lives a life of suffering. We get some great action throughout the film, with Renfield punching off dudes' heads and ripping off their arms, but is it just me, or did the CGI blood look a little bit too Kool-Aid-like? Now, I'm not going to be busting the chops of the visual effects artists. You know, I know a lot of CG artists today are very pressured, especially Marvel's, because we're cranking out like 10 projects per year. But here, the CGI blood, it's just not that good. It doesn't look right. I've never had my arm chopped off or my head ripped off before, but I'm pretty sure there's not like a gigantic volcano of bright Kool-Aid or Hawaiian Punch, whatever you like, coming out of my head. That's just my opinion on that. We have some great use of the 1930, I believe, Dracula footage in here. They actually spliced the old school Universal Monsters Dracula footage with Nic Cage playing Dracula and, of course, Nicholas Hoult as Renfield. I thought that was really awesome. I wasn't expecting that at all. That was really cool integration of that lore. And I think Nicolas Cage really does play a great Dracula. He is threatening. He is also very fun at the same time. He's kind of like, Renfield, bring me a bus full of cheerleaders and a group of nuns. And he's slowly healing, because at the start of the film, you know, he kind of gets burnt a little bit. That's in the trailer, so you can't say nothing about it to me. I didn't spoil the film for you. Anyway, he's trying to heal at the beginning of the film, so Renfield has to deliver him some victims. He gets mixed up in this crime family, and the crime family stuff isn't that interesting to me. Compared to the Dracula stuff, I really thought that we would focus more on just Renfield trying to find himself, in this world, trying to choose between serving Dracula and living a normal life. I thought they were going to go down a route where he was going to just be focusing on that the whole film, trying to be a better man. But there's all this crime family stuff, and the stuff with Awkwafina. Her character isn't written that well, so it kind of brought the film down a couple pegs for me in that regard, because I was really hoping to have more of Dracula and Renfield, not Awkwafina and this crime family. The gore in this film, it is really shocking, and the deaths are shocking. But they implement a plot device and it plays a part, and it takes away some of the tension from the ending, as well as a scene before that, the climax. So I'll get into that later. But overall, I think for Renfield, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I like it a little bit. I think I'd maybe put this above Super Mario. Not sure on it yet. But, yeah, it's a solid, fun time. I really had a lot of fun with it. The action is good. The gore, the blood needed a little bit more work. Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage are great. Awkwafina's fine. Her character wasn't written that well. Yeah, really just a fun, blood-sucking, bloody time. So yeah, go out and see Renfield for yourself. Entering spoilers, I have to talk about how a big twist in the movie is really, really underwhelming by the end. So, Rebecca is a police officer, like I said. She's disrespected and, just kind of bad-mouthed, I guess, by her peers. And we find out that this crime family has bought out the entire police station because New Orleans is just that corrupt, I guess. I don't know. So then when the police officers see Renfield, destroying, absolutely wrecking, their forces at the end of this film, they're like, oh, I'm out, right? No resolution. There's no repercussions for those officers betraying the law. What was the point of that? And I mentioned in the non-spoiler section how the Dracula blood was used to bring people back. Yeah. So the sister in the final act, okay? So Dracula teams up with this crime boss family, and Renfield goes after him with Rebecca, okay? And Dracula offers Rebecca a deal. He was like, if you join me, I will revive your sister, and she's just laying there dead. And then she chooses to instead betray Dracula and, help Renfield. And at the end, it's like, oh yeah, my sister's okay. It's like, okay, that's gonna remove tension on the rewatch. I mean, I don't know, just certain things about the film with the tension. It's removed when you have such a simple plot detail like, oh, Dracula's blood fixes everybody. So realistically, anyone that Renfield kills in this movie, you could just revive with Dracula blood. Like, you might as well say, oh, everyone lived happily ever after, except for the bad guys. Everyone else that was killed in this film is revived. And that goes for the therapy group, the support group. They all get slaughtered by Nicolas Cage, Count Cage, as I like to call him, by Dracula in the film. He goes in there, it's supposed to be the big climax, Renfield stood up to him, he was like, I will not tolerate this abuse. And Dracula, he's just kind of like laughing it off, and he's like, I don't even need you anyway. And he goes to the support group and slaughters them all, and this is supposed to be a really emotional moment for Renfield, okay? He's at his lowest, and he's lost, he gets framed for the murder, he's left at the crime scene, so they automatically assume, oh, you killed all these people, because they're not going to believe Dracula did it just yet. And Renfield is at his lowest point. He's been pushed around, and, he's starting to, because, you get a montage of him starting to build his life back up to something that he's actually enjoy. And then it's like, nope, Dracula come to pull the rug out from under him, and now he's lost his support group. But at the end, he revived them with Dracula blood, because why not? Dracula, sadly, gets killed during the film. Nicolas Cage gets chopped up into bits and shot and blown up and all kinds of stuff at the end of this, because they're like, we've seen so many iterations of vampire media that we don't know exactly how to kill them definitively. So they just try every single method, which is pretty funny. I like that part. Yeah, it was sad seeing Nicolas Cage go, because he was I love Nicholas Hoult. He's fantastic in this film. He's awesome in The Menu. But Nicolas Cage, couldn't tell. I like Nicolas Cage's acting. He's a great dude. But here, he does his awesome Dracula impression, and unfortunately, they get the better of him, and they end up killing him at the end. They build a protection circle, and then they just start ripping him to pieces, and it's entertaining, honestly. But the blood, like I said, the blood is not done the best. I'm trying to think of anything else I can really touch on during this spoiler section. Oh yes, talking about the focus moving away from Renfield and Dracula onto this crime family. Things happen in this movie that you gotta really suspend your belief. You're not gonna be, going to this film and like, oh yeah, that would totally happen. Awkwafina can totally survive all of this stuff happening to her. She's basically, she would be a pincushion by all these bullets, but she can dodge it and get the guys. she got grazed or shot once, I think, but just the way the camera is shooting these scenes, there is absolutely no way she would have survived. No way. But honestly, that's really all I have on Renfield. It was a fun time, like I said. Go out and see it if you're looking for a great comedy with some nice gore. Minus the red blood, the really light red blood. But if you love Nicolas Cage, if you love just Dracula-centered stuff in general, we have a lot of vampire stuff coming out this year. I will say this is better than Morbius. Sorry about that. For those of you that love Morbius, I know there's a lot of you out there. I appreciate you. But yeah, there's a lot of vampire stuff coming out this year. Renfield, it doesn't quite hit the mark as much as I want it to, but I still enjoyed it. So that's going to be it for this review, guys. I think the next one is going to be either on Air or Inside, I guess, finally. Beau is Afraid and Evil Dead Rise is coming out later on this week, so got some big reviews coming, and I'm also working on a very long video, which I'll explain in another video, as well as writing a script for another video, and then planning another video after that. All three of them are going to be... I am really overworking myself, but it's all for you guys. So, once again, thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. Make sure you like the video. I already said that. Goodbye.